I've done placemat DIYs before, but when I saw this pumpkin, it was an absolute must to show you again the kind of decor you can make with a placemat. And so I flipped it over and I'm just coloring this in terracotta, or painting it. I'm not coloring it. And I'm just going to cover this. I think I did 2 coats. Even the 1 coat still looked really good. And then I just went into my wood stash, my scraps. I found this from when I did my bathroom remodel a year and a half ago. Always held on to it. And then this wood, it's not even straight. It's just something I had to cut off a long board. And I was like, well, I have enough of it. Let's make a border with it. So I just cut it down to size on my miter saw. And then I'm just going to glue this down. I used I guess I didn't show it. I used to use a glue stick and then put just a couple dots of hot glue underneath it. And then I stained these or painted these with the antique wax from Waverly. And then just using some wood glue, I just glued down all the sides. So this project, as you can see, is super easy. But this definitely looks high-end. You wouldn't know it is scrap wood and a placemat, I don't think, unless I told you. So have you seen this placemat at Dollar Tree? I've only seen it one time, but I definitely had to grab it. I knew when I saw this pumpkin in Dollar Tree that I would be making it over in most likely some scrapbook paper. So let's pop off that leaf and pop off this thankful. I actually was able to keep it nice so I can keep it for another project. As you know, I absolutely love scrapbook paper. If you saw my last video, I'm going to use the same paper pack. So if you did purchase it, this will give you another idea, but I will also link the scrapbook pack down below. So I'm just giving it a sand around because it has like a paper overlay. That's this design, and it kind of overlaps and whatnot. So I just sand it down. And then I have one of these pumpkins also from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to flip it over, and this is going to be our base. And I just want to kind of show you, this is the kit I'm going to use, but if you don't have scrapbook paper, this is from Dollar Tree. You can cut these out. You can decorate with them. It's absolutely adorable. And then also this little kit, it's actually to make like, oh, whoops, okay. Well, we got some window clings. You can use these as well to decorate. This was the kit. It's actually to make a little plate for kids, but these little characters pop out, and I think they would be so cute to decorate. Okay, so I went ahead and I cut out some scrapbook paper. I love mixing patterns. Don't be scared. Mix the patterns. It's really fun. And if you feel like the patterns are kind of competing with each other, put a solid piece of paper in between them, and that will help. Then I'm going to just sand down the excess again, just like I did before, along the edges. It'll give this a nice seamless edge. And also a lot of scrapbook paper cardstock has a white core, which means when you sand it, you actually see a white edge. So it kind of gives you a nice little border. So this is a super easy project if you are obsessed with printed paper. You don't have to buy packs. They sell single sheets at Joann's and Hobby Lobby and Michael's, so you can easily find some papers that'll work for you. You can always use gift bags and wrapping paper, and I'm going to show you a project later on where I make watercolor print that you could do something like that as well. You can also just look up something on the internet and print out a printed paper. So there's tons and tons of options, and I just think this is one of the most fun ways to make decor. It gives that homey, you know, craft look, but also high-end. So I was just using some 3D foam tape there. I'm just popping that up off the page that came with the kit. I'm going to use a sticker. I also want this sticker to pop up, so I'm going to use that 3D stickers on there too. Dollar Tree does sell 3D foam tape. I just happen to have that one where it's already like cut up for you. Just so nice. I'm going to take some of this twine, wrap it around a pencil. This will give the curly tendrils, I'm not sure what you call it on the pumpkin. I did actually make it a little too long, and I will end up trimming it towards the end because I thought, that looks a little funky. And then I'm just going to add some bows there. Both of that ribbon and the twine that I'm putting on this are from Dollar Tree. And again, just gluing all this down. It's a super, like I said, easy project. Cutting out a couple pieces of paper. And again, just kind of play around with it. Lay it down before you glue it down. And just find out what you think looks good. Yeah, you see the light coming in. I cannot get my blinds to go down all the way, so I keep having this like strip of light that keeps coming in. But once again, let me know down in the comments, do you like to use printed paper, scrapbook paper in your DIYs? I had these pumpkins in my stash and I thought, what can I do with these? Unfortunately, of course, they're not all the same. So I'm going to have to spray paint them. I took the raffia bows off of all of them, and then I am going to put the words in the center. You could paint these. I am getting the glitter off, at least get that much off. Okay, so I'm going to take some wood glue and some hot glue, and I am going to, as you can see here, I'm going to glue them so that we're making like a little vase or pencil holder, whatever you want to put down in it. I just thought this was a great way to use up these pumpkins that I had. Again, had I had all four the same, I probably just would have left it orange, but since I didn't, I went ahead and I spray painted it with this hammered spray paint again because that's what I had. And I'm just trying to use up all the things that I have. What can I make with what I have? Okay, so I take this out and I spray paint it, and this is how it turned out. It did get a little lopsided. I didn't really notice at the time, but it's all right. So then I took just a little piece of cardboard. This is like what comes in the back of like your paper packs, and I scored it so I didn't cut all the way through it. And this way I could kind of bend it and it can go down into it. I decided to flip it over and feed it in through the bottom. And then just using some hot glue, I kind of hot glued it in there, and that just gives it kind of a finished look there. And then I also traced around the bottom with the same little cardboard, chipboard, and made this a bottom as well. And then you can see up at the top there, I have four wood ornaments from Dollar Tree. I went ahead and plugged up the holes with some wood filler. And then once that was dry, I painted each one of them. And so this is what they look like on the back. I'm sure you recognize them. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. I wasn't paying attention. This tall leaf was supposed to go on the side, but I put it on the front. That's okay. So one of my things here is going to be a little too big for the side, but that's okay. It can have a little overlap. And then off to the side there too, off to the right, you see I've got a bunch of bows pre-made. They're just the simple tire shoe bows from ribbon that I had in my stash. And then like I said, you can treat this as a pen holder. I show you that, but I also made a little bouquet to go inside of it, and I think I like that the most. But this could also hold, you know, wooden spoon and spatula and put it on your kitchen counter. There's all sorts of things that you could use a little holder like this for. I I absolutely adore Andrea Nelson on Instagram. I will link her below. This is her watercolor set, and it's the first time I'm using it. It's very, very pigmented, so I wasn't quite sure how to use it yet, because their watercolors have seemed to have been a little more watery and a little less pigmented. So what you want to do for this is you want to be able to just dab the watercolor paint down onto your wet paper, and it's just supposed to kind of flow. And so I think this is where at first I mess up, is because I didn't have it wet enough. So you're going to want to really spray that paper, or use just a water brush, just water, and make your circles. So what I'm doing is I'm just making what she would call as blobs, but I'm just kind of making like an ovally shape in the colors of fall. So yellow, orange, red, and I even use kind of that deep pink color. And there's no wrong way to do this. You just are making, like I said, some ovals. So here I start to get a little bit more like, okay, let's really wet this paper. So what I'm going to do here, like I said, it's just a bunch of blobs, is then once it dries, and I just dried it overnight, then we're going to make them into pumpkins by just using a black pen and drawing out the shapes.
They'll be falling down. Now, I'm not ready, not just yet. I'm not ready for autumn. Autumn comes too soon. Autumn comes too soon.
Okay, so the way to draw this is you are going to make a long oval, a vertical long oval right in the center. And then you're going to draw a backward C and a backward C, and then, I guess that's not backwards. This is backwards. You're going to draw regular C's first. And then you're just going to draw a little stem, and then you're just going to make a little half circle on the top. And now your blob is now a beautiful watercolored pumpkin. This was definitely the most fun part. She even did ones where she turned them into jack-o'-lanterns, and they had little faces, which is adorable too. And then she did different blobs of like purples and blues, and made those into watercolor spiders. So lots and lots of inspiration on her page. All of her projects are very doable for beginners, and like I said, I just adore her. Not only is she talented, but she is just the cutest thing and has like the best personality. So go show her some love. Okay, so then once this is all done, I cut it down to an 8x10, and I'm just going to put it in a picture frame. And then what you can do also is then on the glass itself, you could print something out, cut something out on your Cricut and put it down on the front. Had these leather words from Dollar Tree, and I just thought like if I had glued that down to the front, that would look cute. If you watched one of my recent Halloween videos, I used a greeting card for Decor. And I also had this card in my stash, and so we are going to do this a little bit differently than the last one. But I have this sign from Dollar Tree. I just took the little clips off, and I'm just kind of sanding off some of that glitter. This vacuum is the best glitter catcher. It just catches it. So if you push that back, even though this is a vertical sign, if you push it back like that, it will stay so that you can stand it up. So I'm just cutting this card at its bending point, and then I could paint the background if I wanted, but I went ahead and just used a piece of pattern paper, and I'm just going to use my double stick tape runner, run that across, add that to the background, and then add the card. It's that easy. Since this card already has 3D elements to it, I really didn't need to do anything. But if your card is flat, there is, you could do different things to elevate it by adding a bow or adding maybe a pop-up pumpkin like a wood pumpkin. But super easy peasy project. I hope you enjoyed these fall DIYs. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos. And until next time, happy crafting.